Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Weekly Nerd, or good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you may be listening to it. I tend to listen to it at 3 in the morning when my cats won't leave me alone.
Now that we have an international listening force.
We do? Oh, yeah,
Remember, I made fun of them.
Yeah, that was fun. I shared that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Welcome to the Weekly Nerd Podcast. This week on the podcast, we have Zach Abbiati.
Hey, guys.
We have Tony Kaz.
Yo.
We have David Drucker.
How we doing,
He's mute today, and I am Sam Brush.
He forgets that we're on the radio.
I would love it if one day we had the visual podcast and like one of us was missing, and the visual podcast and the audio podcast were just like, and we've got David,
and it's just he doesn't say anything the whole thing.
And then it's just like David lost his voice being really quiet, and the people are watching. We're just constantly referencing David who isn't there.
We just put a picture of his face in a chair.
A bouncy ball.
And then we're just like constantly flashing on the live stream. Like, this is why you watch the live stream.
We got a jam-packed show for you. This week it's Marvel week.
Yeah,
it is.
They released last night Captain Marvel trailer, which we're going to talk about. News came out. I think it was technically late last week about Daredevil being canceled. The Netflix series. We're going to talk about that. A trailer for Infinity War has been promised. It has been postponed because of the passing of former President George Bush. But that's supposed to be coming out still this week.
I think they're still planning like this week.
A few possible other things. We don't know. They said it was going to be a huge week. We're thinking possibly a trailer or something like that for the new Avengers video game. So we don't know. But we got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Either way, let's start off with Daredevil and Netflix, and we'll save, because let's be honest, our big topic is Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the trailer, we have posted it on our page. Jimmy Carr, yes, harass Zach as much as you'd like to.
Hey, Jimmy, thanks for watching, man.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Please harass Zach. That'd be funny.
That's fine, man.
Yeah,
you can make fun of his obscenely long beard.
Yeah,
and that long nose.
Hey, I can't fix the nose.
So Daredevil, I don't think any of us are shocked. I'm upset, but I don't think we're shocked.
It would be worse if this happened at the end of season 2.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But this happening now, it's like at least there was a conclusion to it.
Right.
I feel like, all right, we can let go of this character, and I don't think we're gonna let go of this character. I think they're going to bring us a new Daredevil in the actual movies. I think
not played by Charlie Cox.
No,
a completely different incarnation of Daredevil, which would basically say the Netflix series have nothing to do with the MCU. It's a different universe.
Even though they were disconnected.
They've mentioned certain things like the Chitauri attack on New York and stuff like that, but it's never crossed over, so it'd be very easy for them to just go, it didn't actually.
And it functions as if it's in the real New York City. It doesn't function as if, like, because, buildings are blowing up and falling down, and, like, no one from the Avengers
says
shows
anything.
up. It's like, no one, like, Iron Man is just like,
that's Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah,
don't go there. Don't go there.
Like
Hell's Kitchen in Harlem.
Nothing.
We out.
or Spider-Man at no point is like, there's a building falling down. Maybe I should look at this. What Dragon Bones and Iron Fists?
Too busy filming a movie.
A blind guy doing flips and stuff. There was hope, at least on my part, that they would change them to a Hulu or possibly on their streaming service. A very long shot, but a hope. Because I loved Daredevil, and I loved Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil. I thought he was excellent in the role.
I agree. I honestly think we've gotten as much as we're going to get out of it. I think we might have gotten a little more that was different, but I'm like,
I think you could have done more with Bullseye.
Yeah, but
because you only scratched the surface of that. But I agree that if it had to go, it did feel like it ended. Not like Luke Cage, where Luke Cage is now criminal underworld lord, and they're just like, yeah, no, we're not going to do anything with that.
Right. It definitely went out on a high note, which is good.
Right. The question is going to be, what are they going to like? And we talked about this a few episodes ago. The TV shows, quote TV shows, that they're coming out with on their streaming service, are they going to stack up? Do you think that Marvel can make them stack up to what this was? Because I mean, you guys can clue in on this. I think that all 3 seasons of this show were better. Darn it, I almost had the second one. For those of you that aren't watching, I intercepted a water bottle and almost had the second one. You don't get one, Zach.
Yeah, you don't get one. I'm sorry.
No.
Because I'm green.
I thought they were better than a large portion, really, of the movies they've released. At least half of the movies they released. I'm not saying all of the Netflix series, but Daredevil itself I thought was better than the movies. So can these actually stack up to that?
And I think they're going to stack up in quality. I think they're going to be... I think I had to watch Thor Ragnarok again. I didn't want to, but I recently had to. And I went in going, oh yeah, I remember I liked this movie. And I realized that a lot of the Marvel movies are like chips. They're not like a good, like, full course meal. They're like chips. You know, it's like, oh, these are good. I like these.
You've never eaten a chip as a full course meal? I need to rethink my life.
Yeah.
Your decisions have become epically failurific.
And so, you know, at a point you end up going, like, there's nothing really here, but it's fun, and it's good. And if you're crazy, you'll eat a whole bag. I don't know what the equivalent of a whole bag of chips is.
Watching the Guardians movies and Thor Ragnarok all in one sitting.
They're the best.
It just makes you sick.
The best ones.
You feel bad for days.
I'm not arguing this again. I love these movies. I just argued with someone the other day about why they're so good. So
did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a legitimate reason. But so I think that the new movie, the new ones won't stack up. It will stack up to being Marvel quality. And I think the fact that we have characters that you already know and care about, and it's in the Marvel universe, is going to be better than Daredevil in that respect. But Daredevil touched on better themes, darker themes, had better combat scenes, had better characters.
I don't think we'll see that level of quality.
I was
again.
watching Arrow yesterday and today so I could get caught up because
That's a soap opera.
Elseworld, the crossover event, is in a week, I think it is. And I was watching it and I was going, the fight scenes in this,
they're not good.
Why aren't they as good as Daredevil? That was literally my thought process. That I was like, Daredevil has these awesome fight scenes, and I'm like, these are very obviously scripted fight scenes, and I know that they don't use a ton of extras in that. What's his name? I can't remember his name now. Who plays Arrow?
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell does a lot of his own stunts. For this season at least, because he doesn't have a mask on because he's been in prison, and so that limits some stuff. But I'm like, these fight scenes leave a ton to be desired. Flash always had because it's just CGI, but I'm like,
So the Flash fight scene is just like, oh no, bad guys, and then there's a bolt of lightning, and then they're on the ground.
It's bad CGI. The Flash running looks atrocious in every episode of the Flash. As much as I enjoy the Flash,
and if you pay attention, they reuse the same running shot, and they just flip it. Sometimes in the same episode, they just reuse the same running shot.
Yep. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that, season 3 of Daredevil had the one long scene with Charlie Cox doing all the choreography without the mask. So even if you're not getting a stunt double, you can still be taught or whatever.
And I think we have to remember... I'm sorry.
I think it's all about the expectations of the director or whatever, expecting from the actor.
Yeah. And we got to remember, too, is that scene with Charlie Cox is one scene in a 13-hour series.
This is true.
Arrow is what?
Like 24
hours.
24 episodes.
And there's a lot of it. It's like...
But there's a lot of fight scenes in Daredevil and stuff as well. I'm not asking for one long cut.
Right.
Like they do in the Netflix series in Daredevil. I'm just asking for better.
What I meant more was that with one scene in particular where Charlie Cox is exposed, and you can see him, you can train, and they had a long time between season 2 and season 3. You can train for a long time to get that down perfect.
Right.
Whereas with Stephen Amell, I think there was like a year, not even, and there's a whole bunch of scenes where he's fighting. It's like that's where you start.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should get the same level of quality from these shows. As far as stacking up, they don't have to stack up to mine, quite honestly.
Why can't we expect the same level of quality?
Budget? I just don't think they will do it.
It was a 3. They had like the budget for Daredevil was for the first season $3 million an episode.
Wow.
That was the budget.
I'd like $3 million an episode.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
Can we have that?
No.
Do we have that in the budget?
No.
Do we
Well,
have a budget?
how much of that actually goes to the stars? It's got to be a good chunk of change, probably like $50,000.
Well, but not. Well, I was going to say it's a good chunk of change, but not because in all of the Netflix series, they don't have star actors and
Although
actresses.
you had David Tennant and Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
You had
Okay.
D'Onofrio.
But what I'm saying is like your main characters were not played by big name people. No. I mean, I know David Tennant in season 1 and in parts of season 2 of Jessica Jones, but it's not like they had to pay to get these people. To you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying they weren't getting paid because even $50,000 an episode is more than I will make in my entire lifetime. But what's TWN?
TWN has better security than Hell's Kitchen confirmed.
I don't know.
The Weekly Nerd.
Letters.
Our security guy.
I have that. Our security just walked through. We are so smart.
I didn't know we had an abbreviation.
And he literally said his comment before that was cameo by security guard.
Yeah.
Guys, we're not smart.
I thought you said
Yeah, sorry,
security
Jimmy.
gay, but
Sorry.
this guy.
We're not.
We're clearly
smart.
a little slow.
We're not smart.
I can't.
It doesn't surprise me that the series aren't getting renewed. I think the Netflix series as a whole struggled with mediocrity.
Yeah.
My Daredevil was incredible, but when you're talking about stacking up, there's not much for it to stack up to.
Well, no, I was asking specifically to Daredevil because you're right.
It's going to be hard because Daredevil was an exceptional show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought Punisher was up there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Punisher was real good.
Honestly, I would rather that Punisher doesn't get a second season.
Right.
Because I think the ending of Punisher is going to be...
It was a perfect story that...
But it is getting a second season.
No, I don't...
Yes, it is.
I know, that's what I'm hoping that we hear it got canceled as well.
I'm really hoping Jessica Jones just gets shot.
Do you guys want to hear something sad?
What's that?
Jessica Jones hasn't been shot?
The fact that they were already planning season 4 when they canceled season 3.
That's not surprising because they left... Yes, season 3, it can be ended and not be anything, but they did leave it open to more, especially between Daredevil and Bullseye.
None of the writers of any of these shows knew their shows were getting canceled.
No.
Because all of them were left.
Which is rough because then you can't write to end certain plot lines. Right. Which I get is also a good thing because then you can see in certain seasons, last seasons of different shows, that the writers are trying to close up plot lines, and you're going, "This isn't good storytelling."
No,
but the flip is true that these storylines don't get closed because the writers think they get another season, and so why close the story?
How many people care about with Luke Cage,
right?
Or with
Iron Fist?
No one cared at that point,
right?
Yeah. He's firing guns with yellow bullets, and it was canceled.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
Everyone was like, that was canceled because the writers went, "How do we explain this?"
I was so happy. I was like, "Oh, I don't have to watch another one."
The odd thing is how there was a shift when Daredevil first came out. There was all this excitement behind Daredevil, and it was an incredible season. Even with Jessica Jones season 1 coming out, there was a lot of hype for it because
David Tennant,
the Marvel Netflix universe was continuing.
It was good. Too.
We got Daredevil season 2, and we were getting Luke Cage next. And we were like, "Wow, this is going to be huge." Luke Cage was mediocre. Iron Fist was horrible.
Yeah.
Defenders, which was the culminating moment of your universe,
was
failed.
bad for most of it until the last 2 episodes when they were like, "Oh, Daredevil should be our main character. Focus on him."
And then even then, it was bad. The best episode in that whole series was them sitting down eating Chinese food together.
That was a great episode.
That was the best thing. That was the best part of the whole series.
And see, after that moment, I feel like their Netflix series just lost all momentum.
Yeah, I agree.
It did because you had your big culminating moment, and it did not deliver what you promised. You released Punisher, which was excellent, but no one was out there looking forward to Iron Fist season 2.
Right, and
no one was looking forward to Luke Cage seson 2, or Jessica Jones season 2.
Oh, true.
Or anything.
And Punisher season 2 was even worse than.
Punisher season 2 is not come out yet.
Wow, I got really everything.
I have seen Punisher season 2.
Wow,
give your eyes a now.
I
have foreseen the future.
None of that was what I wanted to say. Punisher season 1 was even more disconnected from everything else than.
Yes.
Yeah, there was the idea of cohesion.
It was good, but disconnected.
Right, and the idea of cohesion really started falling apart, and it felt like the only thing that was really connected was Daredevil.
Right.
Things were connected to Daredevil. Daredevil could even.
It was like Daredevil was the Godfather, and everything needed to be connected to it, but separate from it.
And there's not really a ton of references to anything else in Daredevil. I think at the very end.